I never grew up in church. I skated, I was a pro in '82 at 14 years old, and basically lived my whole life until the year 2000 for myself, getting all the glory, feeling like I earned everything, like I did this, I deserve this, I made me, I'm the one that got good at skateboarding, and really, in my eyes, I didn't know that there was a God that loved me. I thought God was just way up there, I'm down here, and at the end of my life, I'll just say, yeah, I've done so many good things, so many good things that God's going to receive me, whatever God that is, and I would read Taoism books, Buddhism books, philosophical books, It really didn't dawn on me that there was an identity of God, that He had a name, and His name is Jesus Christ. But, through me just, being a good person, I believe it was a real big hook in trying to, Satan holding me back from even knowing that I needed a Savior, knowing that I had, needed to be saved, that term right there. If you were to ask me that before, I'd be like, saved from what? You know what I mean? But, here I am living my life. At 17, my nickname became Christ. My name's Christian. My nickname was Christ in '85. I invented the Christ era in the late '80s, and no one's telling me about a man named Jesus. No one's telling me about Jesus Christ who died for me. Throughout all my years of living as a pro skateboarder, traveling the world, owning my own company, top of the world in my game, I was everywhere, and no one reached out to me. I can remember that there was nobody who told me about this, Jesus Christ that wants a personal relationship with you, and here I am, trying to fill my heart with everything that I thought was pleasurable, that I thought was satisfying, but I was never satisfied. Just totally searching in all the wrong places. I'm sitting here trying to, fill my heart with, money, drugs, girls, skateboarding, traveling, fitting in, peer pressure to do things that, now that I'm a Christian, I just see this completely, just an abomination to the Lord, but I didn't know anything about sin prior to reading the Bible. I never read a Bible in my life until I finally went to prison, which was in January of 2000. I never thought, hey, is there a God? Is there a reason why I was created? I didn't know any of this. I never asked these why questions. And it all kind of came crashing down on me in the year 2000 when I got arrested for crystal methamphetamine, and they were telling me that I'm looking at 10 years of prison time. And here I am sitting here behind bars going, wait a minute, why is this happening to me? Why, why do I deserve this? And here I am sitting here going, why? And my first phone call was to my girlfriend, who's my wife today, who said, I said, I'm looking at 10 years, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, Well, she just said, you know what, Christian, I love you, we're gonna try to get through this, but we just have to trust in God. I was like, God? God, what's God gonna do for me? I need a lawyer, babe, I'm in jail. I'm not going to heaven yet, you know what I mean? But here I was with this, my wife of today reaching out to me saying, we gotta trust in God. And I was like, who's God? Now I was like, well, wait a minute. She's telling me to trust in God, and here I am first day in jail, and they're telling me I'm looking at 10 years, and I've never even opened a Bible before. So here it is, God's just all of a sudden reaching out to me, and I said, you know what, if you're real, I want to find out who you are. And I opened up the Bible first day I got to prison, and I just looked inside, and it was like God's truth being spoken to me immediately. And that night I cried out and said, God, I love you, please help me. I need your help. Get me out of this situation, I don't know what happened to my life, and I said, I want to know why all this is happening to me. I need answers. And the Bible gave them to me. And 3 weeks later, I gave my life to Jesus, you know, me and my wife. You know, she wasn't completely committed to the Lord, but through it, we both gave our lives to the Lord over the phone, and then I spent 5 years in prison. But I spent 5 years in prison a free man.